and Irenaeus was an Archon instead. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora. We had to select a location, construct the giant...
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt with...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess, Nervila, you gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that also that...
Yes, that is...
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist... As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role would... You'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto this... Oh? It's fine. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial.
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass. This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here. Oh, let Paimon see. Wait, then that means this document? So in other words, we can refer to this. Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, all right?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duels you took part in at the Opera House. I didn't think that you... This is the first time Monsieur Nervillette had a difference of opinion with the Oratrice. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure it out. A Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. According to Monsieur Nervillette, both Child and that whale should have been in the primordial sea at that time. I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Nervy. Just fast forward. Of course. It is only natural.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as... Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking our duty, but... Did I hear...
Charge accepted. Lady Farina. Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine.
Yeah, even though Lady Farina can be rather
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure, Lady Farina can be
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its... If you wish to drop the case, I can promise you as the God of Justice that you will not have to face trial for making a false accusation. We will treat everything that's happened as a dramatic...
An argument with near impossible odds, huh?
Well, I tried. And if I...
That doesn't sound right. Paimon... First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally...
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally, but in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your
Neuvillette sensed it too, huh?
Lady Farina.
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Besides, for centuries, one need only to turn their eyes towards the...
That doesn't... You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof?
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are natural.
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of while the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. You will prove you...
I never thought.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules...
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and instead of having been...
The real Hydro Archon. It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty but the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally. And you can't argue that just because a divine...
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce proof that she has no power.
My power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience.
If that poses a concern...
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people, and thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide...
Isn't that?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called a...
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. Please, I'm still the same Farina you knew, right? The one that you loved. Please.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really...
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And all of our ancestors?
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if I'm not the if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence, nor can you find anyone who can back up their claim to be such, then what grounds have...
Wow, she came up with yet another argument. Ugh. That doesn't sound right. It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution before addressing...
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really... Now, I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck... including those... So, Miss Farina, would you dare... If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching the seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do... But, if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess.
If Lady Farina is indeed just a human, she's probably Fontanian like all the rest of us.
Lady Farina, this test has been unilaterally proposed by the prosecution.
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same.
She's just staring at the water without saying a single word. It really does.
What's going on? Is she really planning to...
Due to the inherent risk of the test, Lady...
Hey!
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon—
Miss Siegewien? If you're present, Miss Siegewien, please come forward and attend to—
Siege? Wait, don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds.
Please announce the results of your evaluation.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying symptoms of hypervenom. She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same—
Thank you, Miss Siegewien. Lady Farina.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that—
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for we don't want anyone else to lose.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample and asked the head— It's a great thing that the direct—
Listen to me, everyone. Please don't give me some— Think about it. How can you conclusively prove that an Archon can't also, if I was really just a human, why would I dare to just— Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone.
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's—
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway anyone who's stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is guilty.